Well, thank you very much, David, for that very kind introduction, and thank all of you for coming out on a early Monday afternoon to hear about taxes. I hope this news will be better than what you usually get on the tax front these days. And the reason that I'm here today is to announce that we're launching a new nonprofit organization, or a relaunch, called Americans for Hope, Growth, and Opportunity, to promote a pro-growth agenda. Unlike certain people in the White House today, we feel that we have to go through Congress and get the support of the American people before doing these things. We don't believe in presidential government by decree. Yes. But the reason for this is that our country is in trouble and the American people know it. And so we intend to agitate with intensity for the flat tax, an honest, stable dollar whose value is tied to gold, as it was for the first 180 years of this country's existence, and patient control of health care. We believe that the time for timidity is over. No more vague promises of a flatter, fairer tax code, or being content with merely calling for an audit of the Fed, or for saying we need to reform Obamacare. Now, it would be nice to reform or replace Obamacare, but we think we need to go further and spell out what is going to replace it and how to put patients truly in charge. So we need presidential and congressional candidates who have strong, well-thought-out agendas to get, in the words of John F. Kennedy, America moving again. Most of you recognize that taxes are not just a means of raising revenue for government, they're also a price and a burden. The tax you pay in income, as you know, is the price you pay for working. Tax on profits, the price you pay for being successful. Tax on capital gains, the price you pay for taking risks that work out. It's a simple proposition. When you lower the price of good things like productive work, risk-taking success, you get more of them. Raise the price, you get less of them. And the American people are overtaxed today. You all know that. Just go through your day. You get up in the morning, you turn on the electricity, look at your next electricity bill, various taxes embedded there. Turn on the water, same thing. Go to the kitchen, have a cup of coffee, probably paid a sales tax on it. Maybe have an English muffin or something else, sales tax in many states on that. You go to work, gas taxes, perhaps a toll or two. You get to work, federal income tax, Medicare tax, Social Security tax, and in most jurisdictions, an income tax, state income tax. So then you go home, you go to the store, you buy something. You may pay a sales tax on it, but you're also, in many instances, paying business taxes. In most instances, where do businesses get the money to pay their taxes? Ultimately, they get it from you, the customer. And then you get home, you go through the mail. Property tax notice. Usually they go up, not down. You have a pet. Time to renew Fido's license. Everything you do gets taxed. And worst of all, as you well know, is the federal income tax code. Once again, let's put it in perspective, because we have to hammer this home why this is an intolerable situation. Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, which defined the character of the American nation, all of 272 words. America's Declaration of Independence, 1,458 words. The Constitution with all the amendments, 27 of them, 7,591 words. The Bible, which took centuries to put together, 783,000 words. Federal income tax code, and all the attendant rules and regulations that go with it, add up probably close to 9 million words. The code itself is 4 million, but you have so much junk with it, it gets up to 8 or 9 million words. And the fact of the matter is nobody knows what's in it. And in a republic that's responsible to the people, that gets its authority to govern from we the people, this is intolerable. You call the IRS back in the days when they answered their hotline, they give you the wrong answer. GAO found at least 25% of the time. Even worse, tax preparers, volunteers trained by the IRS, the latest year we have for it is 2011, their error rate is 61%. Several years ago, Money Magazine did a survey. Took a hypothetical family's finances, gave them to 46 different tax preparers, considered the best in the field, and you know what they got back. 46 different returns, 46 different estimates of what the family owed, thousands of dollars of difference. this from people who make their living at the thing. It also corrupts American life. It corrupts our political life. It corrupts our civic life. You all know in this town the intense amount of lobbying that goes on. Probably a third to half of the lobbying revolves around the federal income tax code. It really breeds cronyism of the worst sort. There was an article over the weekend, an interview by Steve Moore with the head of Domino's Pizza, who pays the full corporate tax rate, average of 38%, because he said nobody's come to me to propose a loophole for pizza sellers. But everyone else seems to be striving for it. So it also brings out the worst in us. Come tax time, we wonder, what deductions can we take? We all know the famous case of Hillary Clinton years ago, deducting old socks from Bill as a charitable deduction. And you have an office at home. How much of that is deductible? So the IRS estimates that last year we spent 6 billion hours a year filling out tax forms, the equivalent of almost 3 million full-time jobs. In this town, too, the reason the code won't change, the reason it's going to get worse unless we take action, is that it is a source of power. Complexity is a source of power. Everyone has to come to members of the Ways and Means Committee and the Senate Finance Committee to either protect yourself from somebody's trying to do to you, or to gain an advantage over your competitors. And this thing, and also it has bred the obvious sources of power: lobbyists, tax lawyers, certain tax preparers. When I ran for president back in 1996 in New Hampshire, H&R Block, actually with a straight face, did a mailing to the voters of New Hampshire warning of the impending end of civilization if tax simplification was made a reality. This thing can't be reformed. Last year, the outgoing chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, David Camp from Michigan, concluded a full-faith effort of trying to reform the current tax code. And what he produced showed you why it can't be done. His reform bill came to 997 pages. That tells you all you need to know. So the only answer is we've got to take this beast, drive a stake through its heart, kill it, bury it, if the EPA allows such a thing to be buried, and hope it never rises again to terrorize the American people.